This is the second video of a series that I'm doing about my future career in the film industry. My friend told me to start looking up people that I would like to work with and posting videos and, whatever. But I'm sitting here thinking, how is it that I am supposed to get in touch with the untouchables when I'm fighting a crowd of 1 million people or 14,000 comments or, I don't know how celebrities and people with a huge base of people that correspond with them, if they have, teams of people that deal with the Facebook aspect. I don't really understand how that works, but I would assume that a lot of celebrities don't even ever see the light of the day of most of the stuff that's posted on Facebook. And I would venture to guess that most celebrities don't care. I don't have the Hollywood fever. I have since the beginning, and the very first video that I ever made, that I ever posted, I say in that video, you don't need to make it in Hollywood. Come up to Jesusville, USA, which is in Ocean Park, Washington. Because here was the goal. There were 3 components to what I want to do. There are 3 components. First of all, I wanted to make the largest movie in the world. A movie where every single person's image that's submitted onto a web page goes in and is strung along to create a movie. Secondly, I wanted to have and want to have the largest soundtrack for a movie ever, whether it be a 7-disc compilation, 10-disc compilation. I want the soundtrack to be mega huge, because everything I've ever done with the spray painting and the miracles and calling radio stations and coordinating certain songs to be playing while I pull over and pick up somebody that's homeless. I mean, it's just God. I could have never done any of what I have done without God just having his hand right over it, just right in it, completely controlling me, to the point where I would be en route to do something and he would say, Angela, I need you to stop by Burgerville, get a hamburger, and give it to the man on the corner. And I'm like, oh no. Not only am I a messenger, but I'm an errand girl, and I've taken a lot of orders. Third, I want this movie to have over an hour and a half of outtakes. People love outtakes. They love to watch the funny bloopers and blunders that go on in movies. So when you combine those 3 elements into the movie making process, you'll come to find that not only is it sheer genius, because God's the one that said this is how I want it done, has nothing to do with my brilliance or intellect or anything, but I do use 17% of my brain, which is a significant amount of your brain to use. And so for a long time, I've really felt like an alien. I wasn't born with my brain functioning that way. It happened when God said, I'm going to show you, what it was like for Jesus to live and die. And he did something supernatural. And that in of itself could be movie. I mean, I was in 2 comas. I went to heaven the first time. I sat with John Hughes. I sat with Kirby. I sat with Walt Disney. I sat with all of these founding fathers, and these companies and these spirits are just sitting there just bombarding me with ideas and pitches and how they want their company run, and I want my company back, so-and-so's the CEO, and it's not, I heard it all. I was in a coma for quite some time, and so coming out of the first coma was one thing. Coming out of the second coma was just a sheer disappointment, because when I woke up the second time, I was thinking, what am I doing back here? I'm supposed to be in heaven. First you have me on earth, then you have me in heaven, then you have me on earth, then you have me on heaven, then you have me on earth. What are you doing with me, Dad? So let me run down the projects that I would like to work with certain people on. Won't name any names. Whoever steps up first and helps me is gonna just be money. Their kids will not only go to college and be set for the rest of their life, their kids will be happy and protected and safe under my watch. And you can't put a price on safety. To all the celebrities and all the people in the world who have kids, I am their godmother. Guardian ad litem. Thinking While Smoking, screenplay that's already finished, ready to go. Jesus and Lithium, the book that I'm writing, that I should be pumping and cranking out 15 pages a day, but instead I'm making all of these videos to try to grab people's attention and get a following. Graffiti Angels is a movie that comes after The Passion of the Christ. It's a period of time during the tribulation when a bunch of celebrities who didn't get taken in the rapture have to figure out a way to save the world with their celebrity-ish existence. Pretty cool flick. The movie, the set designs, everything that I see for Graffiti Angels is probably the strongest right now. Definitely the strongest right now as far as, you know, my crew and I working on the symbols, the insignias, the way the paint, yeah, I mean, everything as far as makeup and all of this stuff. I mean, it kicks Avatar's ass. It just does. Makeup in Graffiti Angels would win an award. God's Theme Park is an actual theme park that I want built several years down the road when I have enough money to do it. Hopefully at some point I can meet with a few Donald Trumps and some rich folks that are like, hey, I've never really developed a theme park. But nonetheless, let's see what she has to show. Beautiful Bipolars is a movie about people who are bipolar, celebrities, common folk, mothers, teenagers. It's just a movie about bipolarity and showing the awesome gifts and the amazing talents and the wonderful things that can be achieved when you can take mania and harness it into a way that helps heal the world, and to take your depression and figure out a way to not blow your brains out like Kurt Cobain, but figure out a way to exist until it's time for you to go home. And when I say go home, I mean go to heaven. Return of Seven is a wrath movie. It's about the second coming, how he comes and he judges the world. Serious gore. I mean, we're talking the kind of gore that is second to none to Passion of the Christ. As gory as the Passion of the Christ is, Return of Seven is about Jesus slaying all of the men who ever hurt women, and there's scenes where men literally get their penises cut off, and it shows the whole thing. It is just like, oh my god. But the intent of that entire movie is to freak the shit out of people that are dirty dogging God right now. Purple Rain. Purple Rain and Passion of the Christ kind of go hand in hand. Purple Rain, I spell R-E-I-G-N, and Purple Rain might actually just be an album that I want to work on in a collaboration. Not exactly sure about Purple Rain. E.T. Returns is where E.T. comes back because Elliot is struggling in his marriage and things are going on, and so E.T. comes back, and the reuniting and everything, and Drew Barrymore's grown and all this stuff. E.T. Returns is something that Steven Spielberg would just be like, oh my gosh, I never even thought that that would ever happen. But the thing Steven Spielberg needs to know is that he scared the crap out of me with Jaws. Steven, you owe me an apology. You scared me to death and ruined me for the ocean. I will not go into the ocean, and I will not even go on a cruise because he scared the crap out of me with that shark. Passion of the Christ is the movie that I've been working on. It's a book, it's a documentary. Basically, The Passion of the Christ 2 is everything that I've done kind of molded into a little cake or something. Passion of the Christ 2 is something people really like. They like the name, they like the fact that there's something cool that comes after the Passion, that it's not just this movie about Jesus getting killed and this terrible image of Mary at the end sitting there with his blood on it, you know. Passion of the Christ 2 is something to where if Mel Gibson wanted to work with me, because a lot of people have said, well, would you want to work with him because he's a bigot and an asshole? I'd say no, I'll work with him. My Wedding Day was originally a separate project, but now it's The Passion of the Christ, the wedding. It's about Jesus and the bride and coming back and getting married and all that stuff. Anyway, I have a whole lot of other things, so I will finish this with a wrap. It's called Fifth Seasons Productions and AMA Productions, and I will be moving on now to the third piece.